Hello, my beautiful Aquarians. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome. This is going to be your general reading for June. Um, Hello, I'm Amber, by the way, in case you don't know. But, welcome. So, we're going to do oracle cards, your spread, clarify, and then do a little channeling at the end. If you would like a private reading, I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Links in the description box below, or you can go to livesandsync.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and there I post all kinds of stuff, pick a cards, inspirational stuff, whatever comes to mind, honestly. And then Patreon, if you want to get these readings super early. So, I do want to talk about the energy when I was meditating because it was very interesting. I didn't even know how to put it into words, but I felt it. Okay, so what I see is you watching a television. And it's a show that you always watch, and it's in black and white, like it's an old show. But it has a new twist to it at the end. Like, for instance, I don't know if any of you have Disney, but WandaVision, how it when it first started, it was in black and white, but it was a new show, but it was in black and white, it looked old. So that's what it put me in the mind of. So it's like a show that you always watched, a way of being that you've always been in. And seeing that things are changing. Your feelings are changing, the network is changing, the show is changing, it's becoming more new. And then I seen you get frustrated and turn the TV off, and you just sat there like that, right? So it's like a little bit of a refusal for change. It's interesting because I feel like you want the change, but at the same time, you don't want the change because the old way feels safe. You know it. It makes sense. You've been there before. You know how the ins and outs work of it. But it's time for change because, in all honesty, if you step back, the world is changing around you. The situation is changing. You're changing. Okay? So let's see what the cards bring out. I just wanted to shuffle those really quickly, but we're going to do oracle cards first. So we have snake, cathedral. Yeah, I get that message. And brighter days. I mean, it's pretty specific for you. So it talks about knowing that a situation isn't working. Okay. I'm also getting the feeling like there may be someone in your life as well that's stuck in old ways, and it's hard for them to change or to move or to do things differently. You like tradition because it makes sense to you. You can follow it. Especially in relationships. Change in relationships is scary because you don't know what the outcome is going to be of the process. But it's bringing in good energy, It's like showing you that the structure you're in, relationship, work, your life, your spirituality, is kind of stuck where it is. You're thinking it works. It may have worked in the past, but it's just time for the structure to change, the tradition to change, the power dynamic, possibly. Okay. Okay, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Muddled, unclear thinking. Short journey. Yeah, this one's not going to be long. And you are highly thought of. Okay. Spirit definitely loves you, Aquarius, and you need to know that. I feel like the universe is definitely trying to co-create with you. I get that heavily, heavily. I feel like that's why things are changing. It's for your own benefit. You just have to look at it that way. It's really hard, I'm seeing, for you to see through how this change is going to make things better. It's just that there's a change and you don't like it. You don't like the idea. You don't like the feeling. You don't like the process that it's going to take. But you can see that fighting it isn't really going to change anything. It's kind of in the ether, you know? It's in your energy. It's in your environment. It's everywhere. You invested in something in the past that's really going to turn out really well for you. And this doesn't necessarily have to be money, okay? It could be that you started a change in your relationship and your job status and a friendship. And I feel like in June, that's really turning for the better. It feels to me like there was a dip in it and you kind of either forgot about it or thought, oh, well, that didn't work out, but it's coming back around. The short journey is you. You're going through a short journey in your mind about trying to block this, about not wanting change, about leaving things the way that it is. I don't feel like it's going to be long, okay? You're starting to see that there's someone you thought didn't care about you, Aquarius, and they really do, okay? That's it. Friend, relationship, family member, whatever that is, you're starting to see a shining light in that relationship. You got a lot of little messages, but let's see. 2 of coins, 8 of coins, 9 of swords, Queen of swords, 7 of cups, Page of swords, King of cups, Judgment, 2 of cups. 2 of cups is the only one in the reverse. And it almost feels to me like that's changing right now. Knight of coins in reverse and the Tree of Life, which is specific to this deck, by the way. The stars at the bottom. So keep hope alive. Stay hopeful. That's what this says to me. Stay hopeful. Things are balancing themselves out. Okay. It may be beneficial for you to try to keep as balanced as humanly possible as well. But this is about stuck energy with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It talks about you being stuck, okay, in your material life, in your world. You can feel safe in your box, in your closet, in your room, but there comes a point where you're not growing, you're not moving, you're not experiencing, you're just stagnant. And that's what this is. It's trying to get you out of some sort of stagnancy in your life. Okay. And by going in it, the Tree of Life is a whole process. It's the whole intertwining of the world. You know, it's like you have to get involved. And this is you getting involved in the world and the world getting involved with you to get you out of that stagnant energy. Okay. So major arcana first, we have the Judgment. That's it. The Judgment is a wake-up call. June is definitely a wake-up call for you to see. And it talks about things not being in balance, things not making you happy, relationships being out of balance, lack of cooperation, fights in connections and friendships. I'm also seeing friendships that are just not as connected as they were. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fight. But I feel like all of these disruptions, all of these back and forths are changing. Okay, it's about getting things that are disconnected or separated or out of balance back into balance for you. It all starts with a conversation, a message, some sort of communication. So you have to be open. I feel like you have to be open in order for this communication to happen. You have to be open to different possibilities. You have to be open to miracles. You have to be open to love options for you single people. You have to be open to love in order to receive it. Okay. It just talks about you needing to see that there are different routes to things. There's not just one route. There's not just one way. And I do feel like you've been working on that one way for a really long time. You know, it's like, put my head down, do what I'm supposed to do. You're looking too far into the details that you're missing the bigger picture. A lot of it had to do with worry. was what was keeping you there. But what's interesting is you're going to be worried if you stay in this energy. And I feel like your worry is broken. This is interesting. Worry is broken by some sort of message, something comes to you in the form of communication or in thought. Okay. And it breaks your worry. It makes you feel safe to fix whatever this imbalance is in your life. Okay. Or connection in your life. It's like you don't have this. This is an example that they're giving me for a friendship. So let's say you have a friendship and it feels like it's on the rocks. You're not the same as you were before with this friend. And then you just realize, like, what am I worried about? And you just start talking again. You know, you just start doing what you do. You're more lighthearted about the situation. But they're telling me like you got more lighthearted last month, but now this is different because it's like being put into action. It's like the worry has subsided and you feel a little bit more lifted and a little bit more open than you did before. Okay. Those of you who have been balancing finances, okay, financial issues, trying to keep your home life in order, or even a long-term relationship in order. I feel like you've been looking too far. You've been looking too much into it. It's kind of like you got to be on surface level for a while and everything just works. You know, if you get too much into it, you're going to get irritated. It's like the key here for you, Aquarius, honestly, is to just be more lighthearted and kind of like skim the surface of things. That sounds weird, but that's what was hurting you before. Because this feels like past energy to me. It just feels like being very detailed, being very analytical, looking into things, making mountains out of molehills, trying to make sense of things too far, too deep, too intensely. And once you get in the mindset of there's not one way of doing things, there's several ways. And you come into that energy of just being lighthearted and looking at all the possibilities and all the different ways. And that's how they're saying it to me. It's like there's not just one way. There's lots of different ways. This way is right. This way is right. This way is right. Depending on the person, depending on the situation. So just skim the top and maybe take a little bit of all of them. It's like you just need to not look so far into the details because that's what worries you. Okay. But what you need to look into, especially in relationships and friendships, is someone loves you. And that's the bottom line. The bottom line is there's love here. There's hope. There's connection. There is a sense of this feels like I love this person. I care about this person. They are in my life. This is fact. Okay. And that once you understand that, I feel like the imbalance of the relationship sort of changes. It's like, yeah, on the top, when you look at them, they may be a little bit confusing. You don't really know what their train of thought is and what they do. But I feel like they always communicate no matter how small. They always try to connect no matter how small, even though it's not maybe as deep or as intense or as direct as you would like it to be. It's there. And I feel like you make a choice to understand that, yeah, we're still, communicating. We're still talking. I'm still in this thing. Okay. All right. The other thing is money. I did want to talk about money. Like I said, you've been really worried about finances. I can see that. It kind of feels like you're just making it work. What's interesting is I feel like you are finding out that you have a talent for they're telling me structure, and I think that's so funny. For being disciplined or steadfast in tight situations. So this is like learning that you're really good at investing, or learning that you're really good at making budgets for other people. Something that is very like committed and steady and direct is how they're giving it to me. You're really good at it. If you put more effort into it, Aquarius, you will be really good at being detail oriented, to be honest. If you could focus in on that. But that's up to you. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like when you start getting into the details, you're so not meticulous, but you're so, you have your own way of living and your own way of thinking about things. Okay. So when you get really into it, you'll get really into it, almost to a fact where it will cause probably some sort of anxiety about it. Because you want it to be right, or you want it to work, or, you don't want it to leave because you like it so much, something like that. But anyway, good at budgeting. So that's for people who want to go into a career looking for something to do. I don't know why that's coming up, but balancing money. You need to check how you're spending your money. That's the other thing as well. Okay. You need to pay attention to where you're giving your money. You're going to see, if you look at your budget and how you spend money, it's on things that you want mostly and not things that you need, because there's a difference. There is definitely a difference with that. And most of it is you being worried that you're going to need something and not have it. Or, like, what if this breaks? I need a backup or something like that. So it's like you're spending on things that you don't really need. You just want, but you're making it like a need so you can buy it. I know that makes no sense probably, but, yeah, that's just a little piece of knowledge that you're going to find out about yourself as well. But anyway, let's get into this. So I'm really into this Two of Coins. We're going to start there. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the vibration. But the Two of Coins and the Eight of Coins go together. Yep, as soon as I said that. Okay, we have the King of Cups. Yeah, you need to reevaluate your partnership with money in June. Okay. I feel like you have so much that you could actually do with your money that could be beneficial to you. So be careful about how you're spending it on things that you don't need, and how some of you are using money to make you happy as well. Pay attention to that. Okay. It will be more beneficial for you to hold on to it. Because I feel like you'll be happy when you have that little bankroll ready to go when there's an issue. Okay. It's like you could do more with your money than what you're doing with your money now. So maybe investing is good. And if you've already invested, it will pay off. So don't worry. Also, if you start there's something that you want to do, but you might not think you have the money. If you can stop spending, you can use that money to do whatever that is, or make that investment. There is potential there, but you have to pay attention to the fine lines and details of some sort of contract. Okay. So you can almost find the right one. And that may be a lot of where your worry is coming from as well, that you don't want to go in the wrong direction with some sort of contract. Okay. So don't let your worry stop you, okay? Your worry, for the most part, sends you in a different direction than where you want to go, Aquarius, okay? And it's because you don't want any unfair, like, disadvantages. You don't want to be worn out. You don't want to do too much work. You kind of want to live you want to live a happy, smooth life. But sometimes you need that heavy work, or to put that little action in that you really don't want to do to, like, move forward. It's kind of like it's an inconvenience. Like, if you're not talking to somebody, it's kind of inconvenient to have to call them first, but why not? Some of you want to stand in a conviction of being mad at someone and you really don't need to. That's another thing too. So the Seven of Cups is next. Yeah, I'm telling you, old convictions and old choices, old ways of thinking, old traditions, mindsets. It's interesting because you can see how they are hurting you. You can see how they're blocking your happiness. You can see how they're really superficial now. You know, it's like you could have more, you could do more, you could expand more if you would just let that go. There are so many different options out there and so many different answers to the same question, you know? It's how they're showing it to me. So it's okay to let that go. You know, you're not saying that you are a liar or you're not going back on your morals and values. You know, you're just reevaluating. Look at it that way. Yeah. So give in to something. Give in to some new mindset, some new way, some new inspiration. Um, it's like when you balance that, things start to work out for you. Where there were issues with financial loss or conflicts or something materialistic that was holding you back. Yeah. Yeah. So that lack of recognition, lack of attention from someone, from a job, from your partner will change, okay? But it's like you have to focus and be more practical, okay? You have to be more practical about it. So let that old stuff go, okay? Just bring in that new energy. Why not? Yeah, someone loves you. They don't want to fight anymore. I feel like when they do fight, it's almost because they don't want to fight, you know? Um, if anything, it's like yeah, there's always a quick apology or this person just comes around. This is what I'm getting. This person's very lighthearted. They don't want to argue. They don't want to fight. They just kind of want to go through and be happy and loving with you. But I feel like you look at the details and it makes you mad sometimes. Something about this person makes you really mad. Yeah, they may not be reliable or they may not love you the way you want to be loved. It's like you don't know if they care about you. You don't know if they want to have a future. You don't know. You know, it's like, does this person really want to be my friend? Do they really care? That's what you're seeing when you look really deep into the situation, right? But I feel like it's time to move on from that. You know, it's like you've been without this person, you've been without this energy in your life. Yeah, let the ego go and just be confident in how they feel about you, because when you block all that detailedness out, you'll see that in the bottom line of things, they really do care. They want to be your friend. They want to be connected with you. Okay. Yeah, communication. Some sort of situation in your life as far as a relationship goes that has been a little bit in the outs, there's going to be more communication. I love that you have the Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords tells, especially in reverse, it's like um, it's up to you whether you bring in that Queen of Swords energy. Yeah, it's up to you. That's how you decide if this is moving forward or not. If you decide you want to stick with that energy, if you decide that you want to stick with the old energy and not change to the new, things are going to stay the same, okay? There's going to be that imbalance. They're going to feel that lack of cooperation, okay? And things will stay the same. If you choose, let me see. If you choose to let that go, things won't be perfect. I will say this, okay? Things won't be perfect. Also, I feel like you're going to be a little bit iffy because you're like, why is all of a sudden this person acting like nothing happened? But to them, they don't feel like anything happened. It's like they just kind of X'd out for a little while and then walked back in. This is very interesting. So it's not perfect by any means, but it at least opens up the door. It opens up the door. Whoa, it opens up the door to communication. So this is the sun. Where we at? The Sun, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So it opens up the door to communication, to making judgment, to trying to make things work and make things move in a way. Okay, it opens up that door to build a relationship, to get on the same page. Yeah, so you can build a new, this is the Hierophant, so you can build a new tradition or a new way. Interesting. Okay, so first we're gonna start with this card. I've been pulling this one a lot. I don't even know what to call this one. You heal by releasing, not suppressing. What emotions do you need to feel? Move forward. And not only one step, this is consistency in action, Aquarius. Consistency in action. It's like, just do it and keep going. You'll be fine, okay? Okay, so you can ask a question if you like. I'm going to channel. Sometimes you get the answer right here. Sometimes you just get a message that you need to hear. Sometimes I get several. Sometimes I get one. It just depends. So we have nature and courage. Okay. Nature. You have to listen to yourself, your soul, your intuition, your feelings. Nature is your impulses, your animal instinct, your first reaction. But I feel like you're fighting a lot of that because you're like using your mind or your ego or your feelings to dictate how you're going to proceed instead of how you feel. You know, just go with it. If someone calls you, like an old friend that you haven't talked to, and they're just like, hey, let's go to lunch. Go to lunch. If you want to go to lunch with them, go to lunch. Don't think, well, 2 years ago, I called them and they didn't call me back. You know, it's not important is what I'm getting. Okay. It's just not. So this is about following your instincts, listening to your intuition, and just doing what you feel at the moment. Okay. Courage. Yes. Self-esteem. They're talking about self-esteem and ego. Two different things. Self-esteem is being strong in yourself, in your truth, in your beliefs, in your instinct, in your nature. Okay. That's what that is. And then ego is just it's more like your ideal self, who you think you should be, what you think you should say, how you think you should act, instead of that authentic side of yourself. And I'm seeing that is the side that is really blocking you. That's the one that most of you, well, not most of you, whoever this is for, you're filtering through that energy, and it's not really helping you. Okay. It's almost causing conflict within your truth and what you truly feel and really want to do. Okay. All right, my beautiful souls. I love you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.